Sunday is finally here, and while some of the kids may have dates, I seriously doubt Ronan Monaghan is one of them. Today we'll be following around our resident creepy nerd as he tries to make the jump from having 2D waifus to maybe a 3D one. He's nursing a serious crush on Raven, and his first natural thought is to try pursuing her, but it turns out she's already made a date with Gusto today, and the two of them aren't in the square very long before he snags her and takes her off on the train. Adam Steinman's in the foulest mood ever and is rejecting people left and right while Lana wants to go study. Unfortunately, Ronan moves so slowly and takes so long to get to the study session they start without him. Boy, that sucks. That's downright embarrassing. But it could be worse. He could be shaky. Miss Deeb has already found her and is continuing the psychological torment from the last 2 days. It'd almost be more kind at this point to put the poor girl out of her misery. And while that's happening, Day approaches Ronan to spread a rumor about Kelsey, and then Film Fanatic wants Ronan to follow him. If there's something slower in this game than watching nerds try to run up 3 flights of stairs, I don't know what it is. Day's of a mind to talk to Ronan some more, but she stops short when she sees Film Fanatic with him. Apparently, Film Fanatic is an admirer of Kelsey, and once FF is safely out of the picture, Day resumes her talk with Ronan. Day Skates apparently runs hot and cold very commonly. She wants to talk about sex, then she doesn't want to talk about love. Then she does want to talk about love. Then she doesn't want to talk about sex. Then she does want to talk about sex. Then she wants Ronan to follow her to the roof, where she asks him for a really big favor, to help her with her grades. Well, Day gets the help she needs so badly, and I decide Ronan needs a little help of his own and artificially boost his running speed. Much better. Ronan is chatting with Lee Jun when Day comes over to talk more mushy stuff with him. This makes Goober forget what he wanted to talk about, so Goober wanders over and gets rejected by Cheesy. Next up to bat is Kelsey with a request to be better friends with Derona. Goober is now depressed and refuses all consolation. Cheesy and Zero are getting along well, but then Ariel comes up and insults Ronan to his face. So Ronan insults him right back. Ronan then beats feet before Ariel decides to make good on his threat to tear him a new one. Boy, Ariel's just not winning hearts and minds today, is he? Fade lets Ronan know that maybe he's gotten a little bit too worked up. Ronan tells him the reason is because of Ariel's treatment of him. This confirms Fade's suspicions. Derona, however, isn't so quick to believe him. And for that matter, neither is Day. En route to a group study session, Ronan sees Kelsey making out with Rendar in the hallway. Goober's not having any of Mindy, and Day doesn't care to talk to Rendar. Greg Mahan has a little friendly advice for Ronan, and then he casually strolls over and picks a fight with Rendar. Watching two disciples of the one-blow fighting style square off is kinda like watching paint dry. They stand there staring at each other, looking for an opening for what seems to be nigh on an hour before they finally attack simultaneously, and Rendar goes down. As Rendar is a potential competitor for Raven's affections, Ronan isn't too sad to see him go down. Fade's a little ticked he missed the whole thing, but Day and Ronan both offer their congratulations to Greg. Lee Jun yes, Zero no. Kags wants to study. Nobody turns Kags down. Although it does seem that Kags would like to hamper the growing relationship between Kelsey and Rendar. And Ronan gets to spend the rest of the morning on the roof listening to Kelsey talk his ear off about how much she likes Rendar. As the sun starts to sink in the west, Ronan heads back down to the city plaza. The kids who went on dates are starting to get back to town. For example, Raven, who actually seems to be in a pretty foul mood following her date with Gusto, who, by the way, doesn't like the fact she's talking to Ronan at all. Raven, however, looks like she might be on patrol for her next virgin conquest. If only her other suitors would let her get a word in edgewise. Finally, Ronan manages to invite her to karaoke without being interrupted, and she readily agrees. Well, that was fun. Ronan and Raven both ignore Ariel's mass invite to the video arcade. He'd rather chase after her more anyway, and he doesn't like Ariel besides. However, shortly after, Kags invites everyone to go karaoke with her, and nobody says no to Kags. Oh look, Raven's talking to Rendar. Time to put a stop to that. Raven decides to call it a day and heads for home. Ronan asks Ash how her date with Bones went. Apparently it went pretty well. She's all smiles. Kristen and Greg Mayhem go to karaoke, Wasabi and Dorona head for the arcade, and Rendar and Kelsey head to dinner. Oh, and Kags and Lee Jun also go to karaoke. Everybody's having a busy night. Ronan's about to have a friendly word with Kelsey, but there's Rendar with a friendly interruption. Ronan issues a general invite to the arcade, and is joined by Wasabi, Kags, Dorona, and Greg Mahan. Fade and Goober hit the arcade, and Kelsey and Rendar hug it out in the middle of the plaza. Wasabi wants to get some dinner, and asks for people to join. Ronan, Kags, and Ash take her up on the offer. Ariel manages to have a civil discussion for once, this time with Wasabi. Chris wants everybody to be friends with the teacher, and Ronan goes to see if maybe Dave wants to go to karaoke. Afterwards, Ronan has a chat with Wasabi, and after passing the time speaking about food for a moment, he poisons the well for Ariel. The karaoke parlor's doing gangbusters business today. There goes Rendar and Ash. It's getting late, but Ronan does one more lap around the area just to see if there's anybody left to talk to. He gets into another round of insults with Ariel for his trouble. After that, he has to run to make the train, stopping only briefly to make small talk with Film Fanatic. Here's who's smart. Here's who's strong. Here's who's popular. Here's who's looking to get stabbed. Seems Kags has fallen out of the running for Faye Rendar's attentions, but Kelsey has come on with a vengeance. She and Rendar are now an official couple, and who knows what the teacher will do when she gets wind of this. Even Raven's starting to show some interest again, and Lee Jun hasn't given up yet. Whatever qualms Doc Cupcake had are gone. He and Ash are now stupidly in love. Ronan may have made some inroads today, but he can't compare to Gusto. I don't know what the hell Gusto's been doing to get everybody to fall in love with him, but it's working. And this week's left field surprise is the slow, steady, dark horse climb of Lee Jun, the smoking gun. She's friends or better with most of the class, and only Ariel has a negative opinion of her.